Hello, this is Ed from Horolograph, and this will be a in-depth review and overview of the Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso Gran Sport Chronograph. Now, just some background, this model was released in 1998 and discontinued in 2006. It was sold in a couple of versions. So the version I have here is the older steel version on a steel bracelet. Now this was also sold in a steel case on a rubber strap and a yellow gold case on a yellow gold bracelet and a yellow gold case on a rubber strap. Now in addition to that, there was another variation of this watch in the dial. Between 1998 and 2001, the dial looked like this, with applied markers, triangular markers, and an applied JLC logo that you can see at 12 o'clock. Now, in 2001, with the introduction of what is known as the Linton numeral dial, JLC did away with the applied markers and instead printed the numbers onto the dial. You can see a version of that pretty much anywhere online by just Googling this watch. Now the movement inside is based on caliber 829, which was used to power the 1996 limited edition Reverso, which was cased in a Gran or GT case. Now this movement here has 317 parts, 38 joules, vibrating at 28,800 vibrations per hour, and it's 4.5 millimeters thick. Now an interesting thing is that Philippe Vandel, the person at JLC responsible for designing this particular caliber, said that the development of this particular caliber took 3 years and was actually even more difficult than designing the 1993 Reverso Tourbillon limited edition. Now just think about that. Now it is, as all modern JLC chronographs are, a column wheel chronograph. It is a two-pusher chronograph, as you would see for most chronographs, and it has a date mechanism. Now the interesting thing about this watch, and the very unique thing about this watch, is that it doesn't look like a chronograph. Normally, for a chronograph, you have the watch, and then you got 3 small subdials. This one, you don't have that at all, so it has a very clean face, which I really like. And also, you can see that there is a little indicator right here, and right now it says arrête. And if I push the start button, it will go from arrête to marche, like so. You can see it turned red, and now it says marche. And the chronograph, which is on the back of this watch, right here, has started to run. So you kind of see this is the 30 seconds counter, and this is, the 60 seconds counter, and this is the 30-minute retrograde indicator. Now, when this watch was released in 1998, retrograde indicators were not very common, so this was quite something special. And you can see on the back of the case, just like any other Reverso, you have very, very nice looking perlage. So it's a nice traditional element. Another traditional element about this watch, which is not so traditional in and of itself, is the guilloche on the dial. It's a rectangular pattern guilloche. You can kind of see it. And I'll post photos on my blog so you can get a better look, which looks very, very nice in my opinion, and it's very fitting for this watch. Now just some other things. The case is 43.5 millimeters long, 28.3 millimeters wide, and 12.6 millimeters thick. Now it is comparable in size to the Gran or GT Reversos, but it is a little bit bigger and it's a lot thicker. It's about the same thickness as a Rolex Submariner, which really, for modern standards, is not all that thick. Now it's water resistant to 5 ATMs and has curved sapphire glasses on both sides of the watch. The bracelet which is also available in rubber, is integrated into the case. As you can see, these little bits here are part of the case, and the bracelet integrates directly into the case. Now, good thing about this bracelet is that all the links are attached using spring bars. So if you have a tiny wrist, like I do, you can remove as many links as you want or need to. There aren't any permanent links that you have to tear out or anything like that to get a balanced fit, as you can see right here. Another interesting feature, which is common on all JLC bracelets today, except the Reverso bracelets. There are some exceptions, which is the extra Gran, which has this type of clasp. Now this clasp has a micro adjustment of 4 millimeters on each side, so you can adjust the length of the bracelet on the fly with no tools whatsoever. You can see that this side has been expanded. You can see the little kind of gap right here. And this side is what it looks like when it's not expanded. So this helps you get a very, very nice fit. If you like it tight, if it gets a little bit hot, if it gets a little bit cold, it's absolutely perfect. It was perfect in Hong Kong, where you went outside, it was really, really humid, and you got inside and you were freezing. It was absolutely perfect. Now, just some overall experience points about this watch. Besides the fact that I really, really like the appearance. At first when I got it, the appearance, seemed okay to me, but I think it's really, really something that's grown on me. The links are very solid. The case feels good. It's a good weight. It's heavy, but not too heavy. I don't want to be wearing a mantle clock on my wrist. And as somebody who's a little obsessive about watches, some other points that I really like about this is that the markers here are tritium. Now, you don't see this nowadays because of radioactivity, and the tritium on this particular dial no longer lights up at all because it's been, this watch is at least 10 years old. But the tritium on the hands over time will yellow, and that's always something that's quite nice, that your watch can pick up a patina. And, as somebody who's also a little obsessive, compulsive, it's very nice to see that when the 60-second counter here reaches 0 at 30 minutes, the 30-minute counter will start again immediately. There's no lag, it's perfectly aligned. Once this hits 60, that will bounce right back. So this pretty much is what it looks like. So if you stop it, you see the chronograph is stopped, and this side has gone from marche to arrête, and if you reset it, the hands bounce right back. So it's a very, very nice sleeper watch, if you will. It's very subtle. You can't tell that it's a chronograph from the outside. It's not too flashy. The center links are brushed, so it's not very shiny. And it looks quite good on the wrist, and it's extremely comfortable thanks to the curved case back. Now, for those of you who complain that it's a little bit thick, and it kind of is at 12.6 millimeters, but most watches nowadays, most sport watches, are much thicker than this. I believe this is the only reversible chronograph, and I think it is the smallest chronograph that JLC makes, mechanical chronograph. I think they have some quartz ones, but God forbid we mention those. So overall, I really like this watch. I'm going to put it on so you can kind of see what it looks like. It looks really, really good on my small wrist. I'll post photos on my blog. Maybe that'll be a little easier to see. And so, and a point about value, I forgot about this. This watch retailed between $10,000 and $15,000 at the time, which was very, very expensive. But now, as a used watch, you can have this. Not mine. You can't have mine. I'm going to keep it. But you can have this particular model for only $6,000. I think it depends on the season, depends on the market. But what a great value. You see a lot of ETA 7750 powered chronographs selling for $10,000, like the Hublot Big Bang. Not that I have anything against Hublot per se, but you really don't get something like this. In-house column wheel chronograph. Very, very subtle, beautifully made, for only $6,000. I think it's an incredible value. And a fun fact about this watch is that if you ever go to the JLC factory, you'll see that a lot of the workers there, a lot of the employees, watchmakers, administrators, are wearing this watch or something else in the Gran Sport line. I think that really says something about this model. And that's it. I'll be posting a written review of this watch on my blog, horolograph.blogspot.com. I'll have the link below. And thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to ask me any questions that you may have about this watch.